2LV stands for to love and to live, because I don't believe that you can have one without the other. So the reasons behind this company came about from my own personal struggles with anxiety and depression after incidents of severe bullying throughout my childhood and the loss of a loved one through suicide. I struggled to find my own self-worth and to love who I was and what I saw in the mirror. And from that, I kind of developed this concept to teach and to educate young kids on why it's important to build confidence and love for yourself when you're young. This story and this background that I have is what's kind of led me to this place of self-discovery and becoming so self-aware and happy with who I am. And I want for kids to feel that, and I want for kids to understand that and to learn that and to have the opportunity to do so. I think we need to acknowledge the fact that people are struggling in different aspects, but not to look at it and treat it as a problem. Society has painted a picture of what their hopes are for individuals and what kids should strive to be, without factoring in all of the emotional and intellectual struggles that they may face along the way.
Sorry.
You're fine.
What, dude?
Come here. I'll hold you. And just like your story behind it all.
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's fine. What does self-love mean to you?
I don't know. I've never been asked that question. So now it's just like self-love to me would just be anything that I enjoy doing for myself, for my sanity, things that help self-empowerment, anything that helps me push forward in a tough time.
Digging deep into myself and finding out who I am and loving myself is going to allow me to show the love on my children, my husband, my family, and friends.
I think that self-love is, it's kind of different for everybody. My theory is if you don't love yourself, I think it would be pretty difficult for you to love someone else.
Self-love is to feel comfortable in your skin, whoever you are, your personality, when you feel comfortable with yourself and not let anybody else tell you otherwise.
Being aware of personal power. Not thinking that there's anything lacking, that wholeness already exists.
I think self-love means like when you love yourself and like you like help yourself. What do you think it means? Probably that you love yourself with the same thing you just said.
I would just think self-love is like respect, and to remind yourself to give yourself the respect and the time of day, and to like hear yourself out, I guess, and like really like listen to what you need and what your body's needs are, and to, you know, I guess fulfill them or do them.
When you believe in yourself and you think that you can do like whatever you want, you don't let anybody put you down or anything like that.
Taking care of yourself, being important to yourself.
Appreciate yourself, realize what your strengths are, you know, and then go with that and try to stay on the positive and not the negative.
Self-love to me means loving yourself unapologetically. You know, being in a place in your life where you're comfortable where you are and you don't have to make an excuse to anyone or give anybody an explanation why you love yourself, but loving yourself at that stage in your life where, okay, if I'm in my 20s, I'm gonna love myself right there. You know, if I'm going through something in my 30s, it's okay because I'm gonna love myself right there. So whatever stage that you are in your life, you loving yourself at that moment.
Love that.
Now the hard part is the consistency and keeping that mindset throughout every single road bump that comes your way. And for me, I believe that sticking to my passions, that I've kind of rekindled that spark, and sticking to the things that I love and my belief system, constantly making time for myself. And when I say making time for myself, it's the things that I love that aren't impacted by social media or work or what some of my friends want to do. It's what I want to do. And it's spending time on me so that way I can find that love for myself each and every day. And it's not something I have to strive for over a long period of time, because it's just the way that I look at myself. How would you say that self-love has helped you through a difficult time in your life? Or it's helped you discover self-love?
You know, it's so funny because I was just in a situation where I think, like, I had self-love, but it was definitely winding down.
To me, self-love means respecting yourself, and it means giving yourself the best opportunities to live your best life and to be happy and to have these things that make you fall in love with living and passion and everything, all of the above. It's under this huge umbrella because it's something different to everybody. And that's the whole point of this documentary, is to see what it means to everybody and to see and to show that it's something that we can teach, and it's something that we can explain and allow children and adults of all ages to understand, so that they're able to find the happiness that maybe they didn't know they were lacking, or to reach potentials and reach goals and to empower themselves every day to do something that maybe they've always wanted to do and haven't had the confidence to do it or the courage to do it.
Truthfully, I think you should trust your heart. Trust what is inside you, what is pushing you. I think that's one thing you get as an artist too. Don't you think that if everyone could just follow their destiny, I guess. Sounds hokey, but you know what I mean? You have self-awareness inside, but a lot of times you're not listening to it because of all this outside pressure. You know what I mean? Just trust inside what you have going.
To become valuable, you have to add value, right? So the more you pour into other people, it teaches you your self-value and your self-worth. So the more you give, the more it's going to come back to you. So as a family, this is what we do.
There will be bumps along the way, lots of bumps. It's not a matter of if it happens, it's when it happens. And if you have met those challenges, and if you have someone who listens to you and values you, you have a lot better chance of being successful and happy.
It's harder to change when you grow up because you already have a job, your life is the way it is. Like, you can always change it, but sometimes it just feels harder to. When you're a kid, you can already start, like, doing things, getting into healthy habits, and, like, be happy with yourself, like, the way you are.
So let's learn how to deal with it on our own. And that's what self-love is all about. It's learning how to deal with something on your own so that way you can get up every day and you can try and get yourself into a healthier, happier mindset. So that way you can better not only yourself, but you can better the people around you. You can better the world that you're living in and functioning in. You can better your work environment, and you can become better.
Self-love will dictate all other relationships in life. I mean, as a child, you know, I had a wonderful upbringing, and for whatever reason, self-love wasn't instilled within me. And if self-love is taught, just like different practices are, like sports or meditation, hopefully, if self-love is practiced and taught just like any other sciences or arts, then it's going to shift the entire what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to shift the conscious of how we feel on an individual basis. And so connectedness becomes a lot easier. For me, when I'm not in self-love, I don't connect. And so if kids are taught self-love, then connection becomes a lot easier with themselves and others and the whole world around them.
I think it was very difficult to find, because I didn't grow up in a time when people talked about things like that. So it wasn't until you're in a spot where you're really, really not doing well. And then you kind of have to decide, do I want to be like this or do I not want to be like this? If I want to, I want more for myself, then you can give that to other people. But you can't do it if you don't have it inside of you first.
I think if kids were given more love like that and given more care at an early age and nurtured with their failures and with their obstacles, because I think that's equally as important, we have a shot.
Basically, the whole point of the questions and the documentary and these stories that we're trying to show and the stories we're going to tell can shed a light on a topic that needs to be more widely discussed. It's a problem that we think these things are problems, and it's hindering us. It's hindering where they are able to go in life, and it hinders them from, it keeps them from getting out of bed in the morning sometimes. It keeps kids from necessarily feeling good about themselves and then succeeding academically or emotionally. It hurts relationships. It hurts your relationship with yourself. And that's the biggest thing, is you can't have successful relationships with others if you can't have a successful relationship with yourself. So when as a whole, society is telling you it's a problem, that then affects the already lack of confidence that these individuals have. And it brings them back down where we need to start building them up.
Everything as a whole, I took and I just constantly thought about every day. And I woke up and I really questioned every choice I made, to the point where I just was unsure of it. You know what I mean? I was unsure of it, and then I got mad at myself, and I take it out on the people around me. Because I used them as punching bags. And it wasn't until later on that I was like, this is happening to more and more people, and I became, more aware of who I was. That I was like, there's no reason for me to look at this in such a negative way when you can turn something that's happened to you that's rough and tough and sucks, and you can kind of turn it around into positive action.
I was never taught self-love, and I think growing up as a young adult, a young mom, teaching myself first on loving me so that I could truly love my children and bring that on to them and show them the same thing.
I think people just need to be aware that it's not hootenanny, it's not baloney, it's the idea of consistency and building that mindset on your own. Yeah, circumstances might really stink that day, but it doesn't mean that they're gonna stink tomorrow or in the next hour. Because I could choose, it could be raining outside, and I could have had the day planned that I was gonna go hiking, but it's a huge storm and I can't go anymore. Yeah, I could get upset and decide, my day is ruined. Or I go play in the rain. I think kids need to know that their thoughts are okay, and that their head is not, it shouldn't be a prison. It's a safe place. And yeah, negative thoughts are gonna come, but they can also go. Don't keep them trapped. So I think that's where, my whole business is just, I want people to find a safe place in themselves. The idea of looking in the mirror and seeing something safe. Someone that's worthy, someone that is loved and beautiful and strong. Because everybody has that. And whether you think other people are viewing you in that light, it doesn't matter. It's how you view yourself. If life is up and down like this, they think it's a bad thing. But when you go to an amusement park, you want to go on the roller coaster that goes up and down, right? Otherwise, it's boring. No one wants to go on the roller coaster that goes like this, and life doesn't go like this. It's just a matter of being able to get off the ride and find your balance again. You know, I want my kids to grow up in a world where they make a mistake, it's not looked at as a bad thing, and they don't see that and think about it constantly. Think about, okay, great, I learned from it. I can't wait to make another mistake and see what I learn next, you know? It's gonna happen. It's inevitable. We're human. But you need to get back up. Right? Right? Right.
Just like as if the world is playing follow the leader. Don't like try to fit in with everyone else. Be your own person. Stand out. If you're playing a game of tag, go the opposite way of the crowd. Like be your own person. Be your own self.
And when you just feel like when you feel like you can't be yourself, it's just sad. And I feel like when you know you can be yourself, you just be yourself.
Like, don't follow other people. If, like, one of your friends says, ew, vegetables and fruit are gross, you don't have to be the same way. You can love fruits and vegetables. You don't have to be like them. You just have to be your own person, no matter what.
I don't think the world is bad, but I think all we see is the bad. And I think we just need to change that.